Caring for those with dementia can be especially challenging when additional factors such as a serious mental illness are involved. This program helps care providers understand those challenges and overcome them with specific care strategies for making their lives better. Learn from experts about the causes, signs, and symptoms of serious mental illness.
Basically, biology and genetics primes an individual to react in different ways to the typical stressors, and when you add greater stressors to some individuals, they really have psychotic breaks and they're not able to function.
But a person with a bipolar disorder has episodes of this mania, and they have episodes of the major depression, and then they have periods of time when they're perfectly normal and don't have either of those.
For me, that's been typical. Building up over a few months, becoming full-blown manic, being hospitalized, getting out of the hospital on new medications, and then falling into a depression, and then coming back out of the depression into a period of stability.
Educate yourselves about the differences between a serious mental illness and dementia with comparisons and videos.
I'm not making light of terrible sadness and terrible grief that can rip your heart in two, that can kill you. But it's still not real clinical depression. Terrible sadness, even terrible grief, is a head cold. Mental illness brain disorders are pancreatic cancer.
Help people living with serious mental illness become their best selves, as many famous or accomplished persons have learned to live with their illnesses.
Lionel Aldridge, a successful football player for the Green Bay Packers in the 1960s, was diagnosed with schizophrenia shortly after retiring from football.
So just because a person has a mental illness that we might call schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or depression doesn't mean that that person is that illness. They are a person who's experiencing a problem.
Treat me or us or, as if, we're a human being. It's almost like, you're looked down upon when you're in the hospital for mental health issues.
Finally, you will put your learning into practice with the CARES approach. Watch caregivers connect with dementia patients who have serious mental illnesses and come up with your own strategies using CARES.
My hair was wavy, so my hair's a little
It is
wavy
still,
like
it's beautiful.
This.
You ever get depressed? I bet. What's that like?
I wish I could have my legs back.
I bet you do. A is for assess in the CARES approach. So in order to be able to know the differences between how someone is today and how someone is tomorrow, or how the situation may change them or change their response, it's really important to start with a C in connecting, so that when you go to the next step of assessing, you have that foundation and can make those determinations.
And so they took me to the room and put me in restraints for 3 days because I didn't want someone to come in the bathroom when I'm in there. They could have asked me if they could come in, or at least, and then if they say we really need to come in, then that's a different story. But they could have at least given me a chance to respond in a positive way before I responded in a negative way, according to them.
So I just try what I can, and then the next day when they're back to their baseline, we'll kind of revisit, okay, how you feeling after yesterday?
Her glasses and her comb, I know how anxious she gets when she can't find these things, especially when she can't get her hair the way she wants it. So I went right away and got her comb and her glasses and gave them to her because she likes to look good and smell good.
If you were me, I would want you to know that I'm doing the best I can every day I wake up, and every day is different. It's different for folks who aren't dealing with mental illness.
When we're done with the end of a day of work and we feel spent and drained and sometimes beat up, we should say, it's because I'm doing good work. When we really understand what we're doing for this population, it should be extremely satisfying